I don't think I need a microphone, do I? Never needed one before in my life. Hi, my name's Fern and I'm really excited to have this opportunity to talk to you today about agri-food systems and transdisciplinary research. I grew up on a farm in Australia in an agricultural research station, so I spent my days outside learning how to take care of nature, particularly plants and animals, and I spent my nights sitting around the dinner table eating the food that we created on the land and arguing with my family about philosophy and politics. When I went to uni, I didn't really want to pick between these two things and two interests, so like Maddie and like Lee, I did an art science double degree. And yes, I was also asked all the time, do they really go together? And I found out they do. They're in fact essential together. In the sense of if you care about environmental problems and you want to come up with environmental solutions, you have to understand how both biological and social systems work and how they interact. So for the last far too many years, I've been studying human-nature interactions. And what I've realized through this work is that agriculture is actually key to all of the major environmental problems that we're suffering. It is a major driver of water scarcity, of pollution, of biodiversity loss, and even climate change. So agriculture currently occupies 50% of the inhabitable land of Earth, and that's increasing as population increases. And it produces more greenhouse gases, particularly animal agriculture, more greenhouse gases than the whole of the transport sector combined, which is super interesting because we thought to offset our emissions from our flights, but nobody set up an initiative to offset the greenhouse gas emissions from all the food we've been eating, and that's a hell of a lot of emissions in food. But we don't think about this connection. So in my work, I'm trying to find ways towards sustainable agri-food systems, and I think to do this, it's really essential that we have transdisciplinary research. And I'm going to use one of my projects to illustrate how I do transdisciplinary work, just as an example. I've got many projects and many roles, but this is one as an example. It's the biodiversity project, where we're really focused on protecting agricultural biodiversity. We've got one part of that project that's about community engagement, like Alice said, working with local actors and local partners. We're working with indigenous farmers in Mexico to say, what are the problems you're facing to continue growing diverse types of maize, and how can we develop participatory solutions? One of the problems they're facing is contamination from genetically modified organisms. So we've got a science part of the project where we're working on testing their seeds to see if they're being contaminated with GMOs. Then we have a part of the project that's asking philosophical questions. Do GMOs have conservation value? Are they contributing to agricultural biodiversity? Are they a part of agricultural biodiversity, or are they detracting from it? And we publish philosophical papers on that. In the policy part, we're focused on what's called the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. It's the place where the most agricultural biodiversity in the world is collected, and it's a mountainside up in the North Pole, where there's millions of different types of seeds hidden in the mountain. So we're looking at how does that vault work, how does it relate to indigenous farmers, and how does it relate to GMOs. So it's really important that we bring all of these elements together to solve and understand these problems, and so I encourage everyone to see how they might stretch their own projects in transdisciplinary directions. But even more than this, I really encourage you to think about how your food choices are having environmental impacts. So next time Fabian puts down a plate of food in front of you, think about what are all the ingredients on this plate? What are all the plants, animals and humans that had to come together to bring me this meal? And was it sustainable and was it just? Because the food choices we make are the fundamental relationship we have with Mother Earth, and every meal is a contribution to create the world that we want. Thank you, bon provecho.